I don't know what to say. I'm gonna have a little bit of rant about the referee, and then we'll talk about this game. Jordan Way, Australian referee, right? And the TMO, I don't know who he is. They are just awful referee decisions. So the red card, Waratahs player got a red card with about 5 minutes left in the game. Really tried to clutch the win in the dying minutes. That red card basically sealed the deal for the Waratahs. They were not gonna fight back a 14-player win over the Hurricanes with about 3 minutes left on the clock. And especially with Hurricanes giving up Hurricanes an opportunity to play a penalty inside your own half following that red card. That was just way too much of a hill to overcome. But that was just one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Waratahs kicks a 3-point conversion. The kickoff comes out, goes to Jordie Barrett. Jordie Barrett gets wrapped up as he lands. And then a support, the reserve player, number 18 from the Waratahs, runs in. Tries to tries to finish the tackle off. Tiny bit of shoulder to the head. He wrapped everything. Jordie Barrett was involved in a tackle. Surely that's a mitigating factor when another player involved in a tackle with I think Nwana Nitawasi. So usually in that situation, you would consider that a mitigating factor. So I thought it probably should have been yellow, but still very soft. I felt like I saw at least a couple of high tackles throughout the game. None of them was looked at, but for some reason they looked at this one and they decided that was because you know why? Because you know why they looked at this one? Because Jordie Barrett takes takes a nap on the ground. Okay, he takes a nap on the ground, and the referee's like, "Well, let's take a look what happened to him." And they decided it was a red card. And Jordie Barrett didn't even have to go off with HIA. Anyway, if that's, we've seen this before, so it's not really too much of an issue. But the issue is, about 3 minutes from the kickoff, Osafa Amoa literally throws a right hook onto, who was it? Was it Jay Gordon? Might be someone else. Literally throws a right hook. Huge high tackle. Co-hangs him onto the ground. Just a penalty, not even a yellow card. I mean, if the red card or yellow card is designed for anything, it's designed to send someone off for throwing a freaking right hook. This is like, you literally see that in the UFC. You call that a wrap? You like literally co-hangs him with your forearm into the face. You call that a wrap? You call that a wrapping tackle? Not even yellow. Not even yellow. This referee, you know why it wasn't a yellow? Because the player that received the high shot didn't take a nap on the ground afterwards. It was unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. I couldn't believe. I've never seen someone, like, get hit with a right hook by the forearm, right? He didn't, like, I'd never seen that. And the guy was able to get away with not even yellow card. And these referees give out red cards for accidental head collisions. Okay, if you accidentally head collides with somebody, that's a red card, and a right hook to the face wasn't even a yellow. It was embarrassment. It was absolute embarrassment. This referee, I genuinely don't know what else to say. Like. And this game was, if you're a Waratahs fan, it was really embarrassing as well. The commentary was really bad. So the commentary talked up the Waratahs the entire 80 minutes, right? For the entire game, the Stan Sport commentary was just blowing smoke up the Waratahs' ass, and they didn't deliver, and it's just so embarrassing. Like, it was actually really embarrassing. Like the amount of trash that the commentators blew up the backside of the Waratahs team was just unbelievable. Like it's just so biased, so like just a nauseous amount of praise, just constant praise, and then they lose the game. What are you gonna say for that? Like the Waratahs. I don't even know what to say to this game. The Waratahs had 94% possession and territory for the first 15 minutes of the game. They led halftime 15 points to nil to lose the game, 18 points to 22. To be fair, the Hurricanes and also the Waratahs was dominating in the first half. Not just with their attack, looked really smooth. They were dominating with the scrum piece, and Hurricanes had to make an early adjustment. 33 minutes in the first half, they brought on the reserve props and front rowers. I think Dan Coles came on at halftime, but the prop, the big man, one of my favorite players ever, probably, Owen Franks. Owen Franks came on 33 minutes on the clock, and stabilized the scrum and set up that platform the Hurricanes needed to really make the comeback in the second half. Owen Franks, the face of terror, returning to the All Blacks this year, he was, just really did the job. Get the scrum, immediately solved the problem that the Waratahs was just like milking penalties at will with the scrummaging. And at points where it looked like they could have gone for a penalty try. But it was Owen Franks solved the problem. And also in the second half, the Hurricanes really came down to the big names. The Adi Savia, Geordie Barrett really just pulled the team together. Leadership, leadership. Dan Coles obviously brought on the experience that the Hurricanes needed. Pieced it all together and pulled out the win over the Waratahs. Whereas the Waratahs, I felt like they probably lacked that leadership, especially in the second half when things got a bit tough. They weren't able to gel themselves back together. I think they had 2 opportunities to kick penalty goals and missed one, and then they got the other one, and that's pretty much all they had going in the second half. Michael Hooper still out from the HIA 2 weeks now. Hopefully he gets back next week. The Waratahs need that leadership that kind of really lacked in the second half, especially when the time got a bit tough, when the game got really close. The overall game was, I thought it was such a, it was basically, first half was all Waratahs. The Hurricanes had almost nothing going for them. And the Waratahs squandered quite a lot of opportunities in the first half. The try should have been a bit higher. Probably just a little bit of impatience led them to a few lost opportunities in the first half. Only 2 tries and 15 points and a penalty. So 15 points to 0. Hurricanes had one opportunity to kick a 3-point right in front. Geordie Barrett hits goalpost. Pretty uncharacteristic from Geordie Barrett. He belted the crap out of that ball as well. Smacked straight onto the post. And second half the Hurricanes came out, looked composed, firing off the sheds. Put the Waratahs away. 22 points to 18. And the big guns put the things together for the Hurricanes. So some stats, some interesting stuff come out of this game. Waratahs 2 tries to 3, 479 to 449 run meters. More run meters for the Waratahs. At halftime, Waratahs already had 336 run meters to the Hurricanes 257. So the Waratahs more than doubled the run meters at halftime, only to the Hurricanes catch up in the second half, and they really hadn't got anything else going for them. So at halftime, Waratahs had 55 carries, Hurricanes only had 35 carries. And, you can see the results in full time. 96 carries for the Waratahs, 108 for the Hurricanes. Turnover conceded, 12 against the Waratahs overall, 11 against Hurricanes, pretty even. Tackle count, 136 to the Waratahs, 141 to the Hurricanes. 25 missed tackles to the Waratahs, 21 for the Hurricanes. Pretty normal stuff. The Hurricanes' missed tackle count was a little bit higher in the first half. 13 missed tackles already at half time. So it definitely got better for the Hurricanes in the second half. The big problem what's the penalty count for the Hurricanes? 7 penalty count, and like I think probably 3 of them at least were just scrum penalties. Only 3 penalties conceded for the Waratahs. And second half, as you can see here, Waratahs conceded 11 penalties to the Hurricanes, 12 overall. So yeah, anything else that was interesting from the stats? Kicking, yeah. So kicking game was pretty quiet for both teams. 7 kicks for both teams at halftime, 12 to the 11 in the second half. So they actually had fewer kicks in the second half. And the Hurricanes definitely had some dominance. So yeah, let's go through the end. There was a really bizarre finish as well for the Waratahs. Our Hurricanes almost scored a final try in the end, but we'll have to talk about that in a minute. Let's go through the tries from the get-go. So yeah, 3 minutes of the game, Osafa Amua throws right hook, smacks. I think it was Jay Gordon. It was either Jay Gordon or Fouquetti. It was either, I think it might be Fouquetti, but throws the right hook, hits him forearm to the head. I think the player didn't stay down, so no one gave a rat's. Played on. The referee didn't was just gonna play on, and then there was a replay starts to show there was too much booing, so the referee, offered that up as a penalty. So the Waratahs already had a penalty. The referee offered it up as an alternate choice for a kicking spot, essentially for a penalty. Yeah, it should have been a yellow. There was a pretty bad referee there. And then so learn your lessons, guys. Take a dive, sit on the ground, and wait for the red card. So that's what you gotta do these days. It was pretty awful referee, to be honest. Really bad. And then on the 11th minute, finally the Waratahs. I think. Oh yeah, no, they. Hang on, let me have a look. So that's Osafa Mora gets away from that one, but the Waratahs kick 3 points from that, so 3 points to nil. On the 11th minute, Waratahs has a lot of dominance at this point in terms of their scrum, in terms of their penalty. So they offer a scrum instead of, they got a penalty. They go for a scrum for the penalty. The scrum is just absolutely pushing the Hurricanes forward. There was this, I think this was a 5 meter line scrum. So the ball comes out. It looked like the ball popped out. The referee immediately says use it, and then the what's his name? Jay Gordon kicks the ball back into the scrum because he looked like the scrum was going forward. Probably tried to milk for a penalty try. And then the ball comes out. Eventually, the Waratahs swings the ball out wide to the wing just quickly, goes to the winger, goes in for a pitch, goes in for a try. But it looked like he went in for a try, and the referee went back for a TMO check for that incident where Jay Gordon kicked the ball back into the scrum, deemed that to be an offside play by Jay Gordon. So no try, declined. And then there was a lot of attacking opportunities following this. Waratahs had a lot of dominance and not able to score for quite a while. And then on the finally on the 17th minute, the Waratahs able to on the 17th minute there was a really weird spot as well. Jay Gordon, it looked like he got tackled short on the try line, and the Hurricanes defense actually pulls him over the try line and he scores. That's looked like what happened. And the referee basically says he pulls you over the try line, double movement. And then even the commentators were confused at this point. They're like, what? If the opposition pulls you over the try line and you score a try, that's a double movement? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So yeah, there you go. On the 18th minute, finally, the Waratahs managed to score. There was, again, they set up a scrum for following this, like a penalty, or I think it was offside. Basically dominates the scrum. And then number 8, the, what's his name? Was it number 8 who get the try? Yeah, the number 8, Warren Vosayako, he picks up the ball, he runs straight out into the Hurricanes. Number 9 was too big for him, barges him over for the first try for the Waratahs, finally gets a try, and then the score becomes 10 points, is it 10? 10 points to nil, right? And then following this, Waratahs had more dominance, and then it took Waratahs another almost 15 minutes to get the second try. So on the 35th minute, Waratahs sends the ball out wide to Isaiah Peresi, who looked exceptionally good once again this week. Hopefully he's not too bad. It looked like he had a bit of leg injury from this game as well. Hopefully he's okay. He runs down the sideline, steps in field. As he's getting tackled, flicks the ball up for his support player. Peach gets the ball, goes in for the second try for the Waratahs. It was just unbelievable. He looked like he knocked on, actually, the Peach. But yeah, anyway, the referee didn't really check that. 15 points to nil for the Waratahs. And then at this point is when the Hurricanes put on their reserve props. Owen Franks comes on and tries to stabilize the situation. Finally, in the extra time in the first half, the Hurricanes really tried to belt a try in, but they end up getting a penalty. They say, all right, enough is enough. We're just going to try to take the 3. Right in front, Jordie Barrett hits the goalpost. So 15 points to nil at halftime. Second half starts. Took 1 minute in the second half for the Hurricanes to get the first try on the board. Just right away, they just start pummeling the Waratahs. Just good quick balls. Jordie Barrett had a nice couple of really hard runs. And eventually they just pick and go, crash balls. And Marfelio crashes over for the first try for the Hurricanes in the first half, a minute into the game. And literally is something that you really don't want to see for the Waratahs. And then after about 15 minutes later, the Waratahs starting to give away a lot of easy penalties. There was a really stupid play as well. So in the 50th minute, so the Waratahs really started to fall apart in the second half. On the 50th minute, Waratahs had a 22-meter full-on penalty inside their own 22. So they're finally able to diffuse the pressure from the Hurricanes. For some reason, Jay Gordon takes a quick tap inside his own 22. Sure, if you see a gap, go for it. Takes a quick tap, and then he throws a pass to Harris, and Harris drops the ball. And Hurricanes immediately gets himself back in the attack position inside the inside the Waratahs 22. I can't make this up. That was like one of the dumbest things you can ever see. And then it was almost like someone called for it, but then they didn't call for it. No idea what's going on there. And just considering that you are under the pumps for like the last 10 minutes, should probably just stabilize the situation, go for the line out, takes a quick tap, throws a pass. And if you take the tap, go for the run. It takes a pass. And then there was like 3 defenders in front of the Harris as well. It's not even like there was wide open space in front of him. And drop ball. So on the 55th minute, the Hurricanes gets another penalty. And Hurricanes takes the 3, ticks the scoreboard up to 10, 15 points to 10. And the Waratahs at this point is looking visibly running out of steam. 2 minutes later, Waratahs misses a 3 penalty. Quite important 3. Now looking back at it, on the 60th minute, Adi Savia was instrumental in setting up try again. So again, Jordie Barrett kind of initiated the attack. Hurricanes, he kind of gets the ball, he runs, he passes the ball to the Hurricanes number 10. He links up with Adi Savia. Adi Savia finds the winger Sullivan. And Sullivan gets sent into the corner for the Hurricanes. Second try, 59th minute. And suddenly, the scoreboard is 15 points apiece. Jordie Barrett misses this kick from the sideline. And things are starting to look pretty dire for the Waratahs. The nightmare is really starting to creep in for the players. On the 67th minute, Waratahs gets a penalty. Donaldson coming onto the field takes over this kick. This was a pretty long-range kick, 40 meters out. He kicks this one. 18 points to 15. The Waratahs pulls themselves ahead. And this is opportunity really like the Waratahs really at this point, despite the fact that there's still 15 minutes left on the clock, Waratahs is already trying to, taking every opportunity to try to tick the scoreboard over, despite the fact that they haven't even had the ball hardly inside the Hurricanes half for basically 25 minutes now. All right. They just desperate for points. And then on the 72nd minute, the Tars had a good opportunity to attack inside the Hurricanes half. They had a nice little line out set up for a maul, putting some pressure on the for the Hurricanes. Look good, look like it's probably potentially going for a try. Few phases later, drop ball. Yeah, and then on the 76th minute, the Hurricanes kind of gets himself back in the front foot. The basically they just made some nice play. Riassi gets the ball. He kind of like made some really good hard running, got himself really close to the try line. Couple crash balls later, the Hurricanes were really close. Artie Savia picks the ball up, just big hard leg drive, pure sheer determination, drives himself over, put the ball down for the try. Hurricanes gets up ahead, 22 points to 18 with about 4 minutes left on the clock. And then like a minute later from this, red card occurred for the Waratahs. Jordie Barrett lays on the ground. Everybody has to have a look at what happened. And he gets up as soon as this was given. He gets up, not even have to take it off for a HIA. And and that's the way the game ended. And on the 79th minute, there was some really bizarre finish to the Waratahs. The Waratahs had an opportunity. The Waratahs had to do a goal line dropout. And instead of going for the goal line dropout, they tried to do some like tricky play where they kind of chip the ball just past the goal line to recover the ball, because obviously time is running out. There's like a minute left on the clock. They need, if they kick the ball out, then it's kind of just game over. They try to win the ball back. But instead of kicking the ball, just do a little grabber pass, do a little tricky play and get the ball back. I actually couldn't believe this. The ball kicker, and I know this might sound like doesn't make any sense, but the kicker managed to kick the ball backwards from inside his own goal, and the ball went dead. Yeah, I know. That doesn't even make sense, but that's what happened. He tries to kick like across field, and it was such a bad kick. He skewered it so hard, the ball went backwards and went dead. From inside his goal line. A goal line dropout. He managed to kick a goal line dropout backwards inside his own goal. Dead ball. And Hurricanes gets a 5-meter scrum. They almost scores following their scrum. There was like 5 knock-ons, and the referee had to check the TMO to see if there was a knock-on when the Hurricanes scored. But eventually it was deemed the knock-on, and basically the game ended. Anyway, guys, really disappointing for the referee performance. Let me know your thoughts. And I really don't like the direction that the referee is taking. Ignore everything unless the player takes a nap on the ground. Really poor refereeing. We saw a bit of poor refereeing from an earlier game as well. Like McDermott gets up after taking high tackle. The referee just like, yeah, you got up. It's fine. Just like, we're not even gonna. It's fine. We're not gonna even look at it as an incident. Really poor refereeing. To be really frank, really consistent as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm done for today, man. I'm done for today.